Hey you guys, what's up? Candy Malak coming at you hot. And in this video, I'm just going to give you the 411 of how to view these meal guides so that they can serve their best purpose in your life and teach you things and also get you those results that you're after. So let's dive into this. I'm going to share my screen here and you're going to see the inside of my brain. All my tabs are open. Let me move my face over here. This is exactly what the inside of my brain looks like. So many tabs. Let's see if we can get this into present mode, and then I'll go over present. Can someone help me? Okay, there it goes. Okay, so let's just go over the 411 really quick. So at the top, on the top right, you're going to see the calorie and macro breakdown for each guide on the top right. So how much protein, fat, and carb is in each, and also the total calories. Now those will be like they're guesstimations. They're within a certain range because like as you're tracking, you'll notice like not everything is down to the exact calorie. So as long as you're kind of like close to these ranges that are listed on the right-hand side, like protein and carbs within like 5 grams and fats within a few grams and calories within like 10-ish or 20 maybe, you should be in a good spot. Like everything that you track should be good. But I put these in here because over the years I've just noticed that people will be like, am I tracking this right? Is this right? And then I put this reference in here so people can just see it because I want you to be learning as you're applying these principles. So that kind of explains like the breakdown, and everything's color coded so that you can learn what foods go in what macro category, and you're really learning how to do that because that's going to give you that freedom to have your cake and eat it too, to be able to have pizza, have some drinks, and live your life and still be on track with your goals. As long as you're taking full ownership and you are tracking your food, you can make this work for you. So you do not have to eat the same thing over and over every day. I write these for a week at a time because I plan my life a week at a time. Sundays we sit down, we have a powwow, or I powwow by myself, and I plan like, what are we eating? What am I eating? When does everyone have to be where? All the logistics, right? And so this I protect with my life, my planning, because it's my energy, right? It's like food is where my energy comes from. It's where I create my bandwidth essentially. So if I don't have this, I don't have anything because I'm going to be impatient. I'm going to be frustrated with myself, which means I'm going to be frustrated with my kids. And all of that can be avoided, and I can show up as the best version of myself and put my energy where it needs to go if this is all planned out. So if you don't have a plan, you're essentially like, what is that quote? It's like plan to fail or fail to plan or plan to fail. Yeah, that. So this is your plan. So you don't have to eat the same thing every single day, that whole spiel. But if that doesn't bother you, then you can use these, and then this grocery list is calculated down to the pound. If you were going to eat this same thing every single day for a week straight, then that's calculated down to a pound. Now, dinner, you wouldn't have to eat the same dinner every night. You could season your chicken differently and have chicken every night, but like season it differently. So maybe you have like chicken fajitas one night, maybe you have sweet and sour chicken one night, chicken marinara one night, or maybe you just totally swap that protein out and eat something else. You can still follow these portion sizes, but create variety at dinner time. That's what we do. But I just put in here one dinner idea so that you're getting one new recipe every week. So it's not overwhelming, because if you try to cook too many new things all at once, that's another way people get really overwhelmed, and then they just shut down and they quit, right? So we don't want to be overwhelmed. So this will continue to build and evolve as you go. So keep it simple in the beginning, and then you can get a little more creative as you get faster, because the better you get at something, the better you get at this, the faster you'll be at it, and the less overwhelming it'll be adding in those pieces as you go. So, if you, so what we do kind of with like breakfast and lunch is we get into a routine between like two different things, or maybe I eat one breakfast that I'm like really enjoying right now. I'll eat that for like 3 or 4 days in a row, and then I'll, change it up on the 5th day. Or we'll have 2 breakfasts that we kind of bounce back and forth between that have generally the same like macro and calorie breakdown, and just bounce back and forth between those 2 things to create variety. So you'll have 8 of these, or 12, depending on what package that you have or in what context you're watching this video, that you can try some different ones find a few that you really like and bounce back and forth between those. So that's how you're going to create variety. That's one way you can create variety within this. So if you need variety, you create it. If you don't, and you can do the same thing every day, do it, because that's going to serve you long term. People generally eat the same like 8 to 10 things on a rotation. So all we're doing is finding your 8 to 10 things in your rotation that you really enjoy. And then you'll have your 2 or 3 things that you really enjoy on the like lifestyle rotation. That's like wine, pizza, tacos, like maybe tacos out from a place. You can do tacos at home. And then those things get put in on Fridays and Saturdays, and you just track and make those and work those in, right? So that's the big thing, like with these, how they are broken down. So the main principle that you're seeing here is protein, fat, and carb at every meal. This carrot salad is one way that we will approach like hormone and gut health with whole foods. And so you don't have to eat it every single day. You can, have a raw carrot, or, make sure you're eating some vegetables that you like, or a greens powder. But that's the reason behind that. You're going to see that on every single one. So if you leave that out and just focus on the protein and getting in some, like a serving of fruit at your snack, you're good to go. But you can also just eat a couple carrots, Bugs Bunny style, if you don't feel like making the salad. It is oddly tasty though. So I do highly, highly recommend that you try it, and it will work wonders for your GI tract regularity, especially with this increase of protein that these guides offer you. Which is super important for hormone health, bone density, muscle health, all of those things that are going to drive you towards your goal. So that explains that. Now up in the left, we've got info and substitutions, which is going to be this same video linked on every guide, just to make sure that you have it if you need to access it quickly. And then also a food scale video that's really short, just showing you how to use the food scale, and the one we use. And I did include the link to that here. So if you need a new food scale, or you want that specific one, I think it's like $13 on Amazon. We love it because it's easy to use. And then there's a prep video for each one, just me talking through like how I would prep this meal guide if I was going to prep for the week. And then there's one here called a quick video called Track This Meal Guide. Now this one has how to save each one of these as a meal, so that makes your tracking super efficient. And then also a few of my best tracking hacks, like how to save or how to copy forward days of eating and make tracking super, super simple. And shifting your mindset around that, because when you get good at something, it builds confidence. So quit telling yourself that tracking is a pain in the butt, and start telling yourself that like this is how you take ownership and build confidence in yourself, because you're creating a new skill that's going to make you feel really freaking good, and also allow you to eat whatever it is that you desire to eat, while also achieving your goals when you hit your macros and your calorie goals. So that is what this, I recommend every new meal guide you get, you go through it, things that you really, or no, when you log, or when you open up a new meal guide, log the things that are in here and just save it as a meal, so that way, anytime you revisit this plan in the future, you can track those easily. So this plan gives you essentially a week of eating, and you kind of get the gist of what that's all about. So let's buzz through. This kind of just breaks down this day. This is calculated down to the pound. So if you do want to use this every day for a week, this is exactly what you need. Anything that's underlined is linked, so you can see a picture of it if you're shopping. This link, anything that's linked through First Form, will get you free shipping, I think over $75. So that's also a good perk. And then here is another way to create variety. So if you leave your house without your lunch, or your dog eats your lunch, or whatever crazy shenanigans has happened, you can not use that as an excuse. This is your on the go, like, oh shit plan. So you're going to be able to go and run into a grocery store or a gas station and grab a protein shake, a banana, and a cheese stick. And that can be your lunch if you forgot your lunch. Or if you're running kids all over the place and you don't want to hit the drive-through, this is also key. We will throw these First Form protein bars or beef sticks in the van and just have them in there. Now in the hot months, the protein bars don't do well, but the beef sticks, those can withstand some pretty gnarly temperatures. Like you could throw those in your car and have those as a protein source. So being prepared and thinking ahead, that's key. So if you're, oh shit, and you need to run into a gas station, you can use these. Also, if you just want to create some swaps, you can use these. These are some popular protein swaps. So if you don't like cottage cheese, swap in one of these. These Oikos 000s are a big staple for a lot of clients. So those are great to have on board. And then this is also color coordinated. So if there's anything on that main guide that you're like, oh, I don't like that, you can come over here and just swap it out. So you can swap out any of those protein sources 1-to-1 for protein. You could also say like, all right, I'm kind of sick of this thing, but I can still eat it, just not as much. So maybe I'm going to do like 2 ounces of chicken and a half a cup of cottage cheese instead of a whole cup of cottage cheese. So that's another idea for you. But you can see it kind of breaks down so you can swap out evenly and hit those macro goals that are listed on there. This is just like some frequently asked questions like tips, tricks, tools, and resources. So review this. This can help. Water, starting out with 50 to 60 ounces and trending up to 80. That's a good way to do it. I also talk a little bit about if you're craving something, just track it and eat it and pair it with some freaking protein and just get it over with. Go for a walk afterwards, just to get you out of the kitchen, essentially. And then this is like reframing your mindset around cheat meals. It's not a cheat meal. Pizza is not cheating. This is life. This is real life. This is not a diet. You can literally eat like this for the rest of forever. I've been eating like this for 10 years and it's not a diet. It's completely sustainable. Just have to track it and take ownership. You have to do the work, right? So, but it's not cheating. So this goes through how to track, how to eat out without blowing your goals, how to incorporate these things without blowing your goals, and some strategy behind that. But that this is not a diet. There's no cheating. You don't cheat on your husband or your wife. You don't cheat on tests. You don't cheat at work. You don't cheat on your food, right? Like this isn't cheating. Now, there's also this fine line of like what I like to call like don't eat like an asshole. So like if you're eating out like every single night, like no, you can't do that. You're not going to feel good. You're going to notice that you don't feel as good. A lot of that stuff is made with cheap ingredients, cheap oils that cause a lot of inflammation in your body. And you're going to feel that. We all know we feel better when we cook. So cook most of your meals at home, incorporate some, out to eat 2 times a week if that's your lifestyle. And you might have to adjust that a little bit. And you might have weeks where like the kids are sick or like you have a big test or like a ton of overtime or something crazy. But it shouldn't be your norm to be getting takeout and eating out all the time. We all know when we're eating like an asshole. So own that shit, call yourself out in the Facebook group, send one of us a message, and then get the ball rolling in the other direction. So don't eat like an asshole. And so this is what your meal packets are going to look like. You're going to get you've got 8 of them or 12 of them, depending on, or however many, depending on where you're viewing this through and how many you got. But that's the gist of it. This is there are principles to eating, right? And so this covers eating every few hours. Now, if you can't do that, there's some other protocols that we have. And so you can move these around. You can mush 2 of these together and eat more in one sitting. So you're full for longer, so you can make it to the next one. But the idea is to hit the goals and not be under them. And that's like totally counterintuitive and the opposite of everything we've ever learned when it comes to weight loss. But that's why none of that shit ever works long term. And this is the opposite. So the goal is to hit the targets, not be under. Don't undereat. Quit under fueling yourself. Quit being afraid of food. It is the best feeling in the entire world when you can actually eat all the food and crush your goals. So I think that's everything on the list. Tracking macros changed my life. It changed my relationship with food. It changed my relationship with myself. It healed my mindset and my body and my metabolism and so many things, and has continued to give me that stability and freedom no matter what has happened in my life. And I know it can do that for you too. So I'm super pumped that you're here, and I hope this was helpful. If you ever have any questions, shoot them straight to me or post them in the group. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for being here. Talk to you soon.